Welcome to Tech on Tap Live. I'm Dan Isaacs with NetApp, and with me is Ed Morgan from A&S Group. We're going to talk to you guys for a few minutes about FlexPod. So, Ed, can you tell us a little bit about what FlexPod is?
Sure. So, do you want me to hold the mic? Okay. So, FlexPod is NetApp's converged infrastructure stack. Consists of FAS arrays, both hybrid and all-flash, Cisco Nexus switching, and Cisco UCS compute.
Okay, and that all comes pre-configured in a single rack. So, what does the customer have to actually deploy when they buy a FlexPod?
So it tends to come as, it's not as a single SKU per se, but it comes with a series of validated architectures by both NetApp and Cisco. I think there's 140 odd now, I believe. So you tend to know what you're getting, and you shouldn't have any of the deployment issues you might have in something that didn't have a reference stack, for example.
Yeah, I think one of the great value adds that our partners bring to the table, both for NetApp and especially for our customers, is you guys are able to take those validated designs and build these configurations for the customer, so that when the customer buys a FlexPod, the partner is adding the value of putting all this infrastructure together, following the very detailed validated designs, and delivering that basically a roll infrastructure in place. Cool. Well, I know just recently we announced a validated design, Cisco and NetApp validated design for all flash FAS within a FlexPod. Can you tell me why that's important?
Yeah. So I think that's a really, really strong move by NetApp and Cisco to get that out the door, because a lot of people, if they buy just a single flash array or an all-flash FAS just as part of a normal refresh cycle, they very quickly find, or certainly from my experience, they very quickly find that they hit other bottlenecks in their environment. So whether that be, they haven't got 10 gig networking, or they haven't got enough compute to efficiently drive the I/O through the flash array. If you're buying an all-flash FlexPod, that everything's going to be sized correctly, you shouldn't hit any of those bumps in the road, in the long term. And it just makes more sense to do it singly rather than retrofit 10 gig switches in, or retrofit a bunch more compute. Get it all in one hit. As you said earlier, just wheel it in, takes all the pain away. So
yeah, that's one thing. Certainly earlier in the cycle, in the life cycle of Flash, that's the big thing we noticed when we would bring an all-flash array into the customer. We would find out they only had 8 gig networking. They didn't have 10 gig throughout their infrastructure, or they had older servers, not enough CPU cores to actually drive the load that the all-flash array is capable of. And that's what I love most about the FlexPod solution with AFF, is just like you said, you can just roll in a complete infrastructure, upgrade everything in the stack with a validated design, with the full support of NetApp and Cisco, all at once, basically a turnkey solution in most cases. Okay, thanks. Are there any other things about FlexPod that you think our customers and our partners have been enjoying?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously with it being built on FAS, it ties into the whole wider data fabric message that NetApp's delivering at the moment. So because it's based on FAS, you can easily tie it into a hybrid solution, and snap mirror off to AWS or whatever. It just fits into the wider NetApp piece. So it's not like if you were just buying like a less intelligent system. I'm not sure how much I can say on that, but need to be careful there.
You want to be nice.
Yeah, so you're buying a FlexPod, you're buying a reference architecture, and it ties wholly into the wider, data mobility message. So you're not stuck on-prem or whatever.
Yeah, because it's built on NetApp FAS, it's built on data on tap, clustered data on tap, allowing you to have all flash nodes also in the same cluster, in the same logical namespace, with data mobility between the different tiers, also have other nodes in the cluster, in the storage cluster, that are hybrid or disk only. And then you mentioned the data fabric, having the mobility of the data to move it from on-prem in your FlexPod to maybe a FlexPod sitting in a maybe a FlexPod sitting at a colo, sitting adjacent to the cloud, so that you can take advantage of the cloud compute while your data stays on your own NetApp private storage, or replicating to Cloud ONTAP to take advantage of the compute and dev capabilities of the cloud environments, and not just AWS. We're not married to any one cloud provider. Certainly Azure. More and more cloud providers being added every day to the qualification matrix. So very excited about that. Being able to go from disk to flash within the cluster, and then going to the cloud, either via data on tap or by leveraging our AltaVault for backup to the cloud. All right. Anything else you'd like to share?
I just think we should reiterate that how powerful that data mobility is, because there's not many people that can do that, and it's the way the industry is going. The hybrid model is definitely the way. Certainly from my experience and what I'm seeing, the hybrid model is definitely the way the industry is going. So it's really important that FlexPod sits in that stack so seamlessly.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have other people on to talk more in depth about this later in the week, but absolutely, the biggest concern that most people have with the cloud, in addition to the cost, because it does get pretty expensive, is your data. Compute has no weight, as we say. The data has mass, and because the data is your IP, essentially, that is the value of your IT department is the data. Being able to maintain control of that data while still leveraging the great benefits to scale out compute or to set up quick and easy dev environments, so that you as the IT department don't necessarily have to maintain dozens of a huge compute farm just to support your dev and test. You can take advantage by the CPU cycles when you need them. It's a great story. Being in data on tap is powering most of that. So, all right. Well, thank you very much, Ed. Appreciate your time. And that's all for now. Thanks, guys.